Hey now.
Baba Booey.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm licking it.
Boner.
All week long.
There it is. Computer running so slow. And yes, you're right. Never drop the soap.
Never, no matter where you're at.
Yeah. Welcome to court. All rise. It is time. We got a case. And I had to.
This guy used to have a piece up here because it looks like it would fit perfectly.
Jim, good
Jim,
luck today.
Hang in there, pal.
We give a lot of crap for a lot of rugs that we see on here, but I would suggest he gets one.
Or either just cut that little line in the front, perhaps.
Yeah.
If you're new here, we jump from court to court across our great land. Griggsy, good to see you. Across our great land. Sometimes we'll be able to pause said video. Sometimes we won't, because if we do, we might just miss the end of the case we're watching. So our Twin Peaks closed down, by the way. Nobody wanted to go there. Yeah.
There's still one up in Concord. I've never been, but
you're not missing anything.
Yeah. Wow, that was a quick one. Did you see that? That dude was in and out.
He went in there, said he did something wrong, and that was it.
Cooper, thank you for the 420. Getting the day going.
It's a Warman's Creed. Please, let's get into this.
I thought that was a big belly, but those were other things.
Creed. Whoa, they took her down for a second.
Oh, where'd she go?
Miss Humphreys. Miss Humphreys, come back.
Yes, please.
Maybe. Oh, they're going to talk.
Oh,
unlike some places that let us listen to every word that's said, they do not over here, Creed.
Marky, Dick Harris, just in time for a great shot at that head. I would just shave it all off at this point. I don't know, unless I just gave up a lot of years ago.
Unless maybe he looks really good in a hat, though. You know what I'm saying? Hat cover. He's got the cool hair on the outside. That's a possibility, right? Ladies like a guy with a hat.
You mean like, as they call them in the South, a toboggan?
No, not a toboggan. No, sir. I'm talking like you're real classy, like he might be going to a jazz club later on.
Marky, if that was me, I wouldn't get any sleep.
Might as well just stay up.
Yeah, that's where I would be at. Hello, Debbie. Great to see everybody jumping and coming. In 2023, we got a vase.
That's
a
right.
pottery show. I like the
pottery show. It's possible. It's possible. And hello to all of the new subs. A lot of great people came through yesterday saying a lot of nice things. I'm sure today won't be as a crazy size-wise crowd, but hopefully some of our friends will be returning from yesterday. And if you don't get to see this live, it's here for you to just enjoy whenever you like.
Hello, Bozo.
Breaking news, new PS4 game. It's coming in 2023.
I didn't even know they still made PS4 games.
Not a bad looking dude, I guess. It's just
I can't tell. He's hiding his face from us. Oh no!
Collins is a shoot up. Oh my god!
Oh no!
That's a good reason to close it.
Ours, I think, just nobody went there, and the food was subpar at best. It really is.
Listen, we make jokes. I like that breeder. JG, keep it up. I love it. Hooters really does have good food. We've had a couple times where it's like, yeah, but overall, it's pretty decent.
I have to say this: I probably ate inside a Hooters 3 times in my entire life, maybe.
Well, I'll tell you how we got on that bandwagon was that we're not really bar people, and we wanted to have a couple of drinks, and it was pretty late on a weeknight. So it's kind of it's either that or the Applebee's. And
we'll give Miss Humphreys just a few more minutes to come back before we jump out of here.
Is it really even with Iger? Did I say his name right? Igor.
Yeah, Bob Iger coming back.
Iger being back with BC Bob Chapek gone. I figured it would shoot up pretty good because it's kind of a big deal.
I was hoping so too because I own some Disney stock.
Look at you, Adam the Woo.
Hoping for a return.
Adam the Woo's new thing now, watching his things today, the count of how many times he said vibe, 7. Yesterday's was 4, and the day before, I think, was 4 or 5. It's a new thing. Bad Crutch. He says vibe many times.
Is he trying to maybe make it into a catchphrase?
Maybe. I don't know. Golf and Guns 2 for Tuesday. I love it. Thank you.
You guys go ahead to train full before I can even get it running out the station. Love it.
You know what? Let's do this. I had that thing, a little discussion. 70 of you here. Definitely worth doing. Give me a second. I want to pull this up. It's a news story that I came across the other day, and I honestly want to get your guys' thoughts on this. It was a pretty interesting thing that happened, and it has to do with court, and I just got to find it. Give me just a moment. Do this. Over here.
And when you're telling me about it, I thought about how many times when we go to these court rooms, if you're not there, they're not hearing it. They don't want anything to, why weren't you here? If you're not there, short of death, they expect you to be there. I mean, here and there, you got people saying I had to go to work. People saying they were sick. All kinds of different excuses.
This dude has a pretty good excuses. You'll see. Let me find one here.
One of my favorites we've heard was a guy said he was in a coma.
So this is from 2 days ago.
Speaking only to Channel 2 about the tongue lashing he received from the judge. The judge found the attorney in contempt of court and said she planned to file a grievance with the state bar over his behavior.
So Channel 2 Tom Jones was in court when it happened and with us live in Clayton County. Tom, the attorney's really upset about this.
That's right, Justin. Matt Tucker is very upset because that tongue lashing was on national television. And also, he says, because he was in the hospital recovering from that stroke and had left.
Oh, no.
He had a medical emergency.
You need to seriously seek new counsel.
I was astonished. I couldn't believe it.
He's doing you a disservice because you've been here.
She kind of, made me look real bad on TV.
It was the tongue lashing heard around the country.
I'm going to find that Mr. Tucker is in contempt of court.
I'm not going to lie. Tongue lashing sounds kind of sexy.
Attorney Matt Tucker.
It does a little bit. Can you imagine the dude? Look at him. He's in the hospital. And apparently she went off on him, but
in the grips of death. Grim Reaper right behind him.
He didn't show up for jury selection in the murder trial of his client, Hannah Payne. She's accused of murdering
Hannah Payne.
30-year-old Kenneth Herring back in 2019. Police say Herring hit a car and left the scene and say Payne tried to make a citizen's arrest and shot him.
We're ready to start.
Oh, no.
Payne told the judge Tucker suffered a stroke Saturday and was in the hospital. The judge said he never contacted her office.
I am going to also file a grievance with the State Bar of Georgia because of his behavior.
This was shocking. And
Tucker told me from his hospital bed his office emailed the court to let staff know he had a medical emergency Saturday. He doesn't understand why the judge refused to accept his client's word.
I've never lied to the court. I'm an officer of the court.
Tucker didn't like the judge airing his medical condition on TV and telling Payne Tucker was a disservice to her.
It is not a disservice. We've been waiting for 3 years.
Right?
I mean, because you're at the point then.
He and his client are concerned they may not get a fair trial. He says he
That's
may
what I was about to say. Fair trial.
Yeah.
to get the judge removed from this case. Meanwhile, there's no word when this trial will pick back up. We're live in Clayton County in Jonesboro. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of that? I mean, is that fair. I don't know. I mean, the dude was in. I guess
The
her
hospital.
biggest thing,
Literally in the hospital.
her biggest thing is saying that that it never made it to her desk, basically.
He did say they sent an email. So my only gripe would be this is a pretty important case. This is kind of a big deal. Maybe pick up the phone, have someone in your office pick up the phone that were very aware of what was going on, and maybe making sure somebody saw the email. Creed. Hey, we know this lady.
Hey, Judge Neal.
Family also picked them up as well. So we have to reset them for tomorrow.
Judge Neal needed a break, so she went back.
Okay, so did you have anybody else you needed us to go out of order on, or just those were just some announcements that you're making?
All right, Amber, good point.
Everybody else is here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll start with Mr. Kashawn Cobb then.
Luna
and let me ask
Vachon.
Who's representing Mr. Cobb.
He said it. They've been working on that
So I'll
case
have a
for
series of individual questions that I'll ask. The first question that I wanted to ask would be, have you had a chance to review
especially
the
just to
warrants,
show
or
up and be
someone
like,
from your offices had a chance to review the warrants with all of the
Not that hard.
or clients that you represent on today's calendar?
Yes.
Was it your understanding, or the person that read the warrants to them, that they understood the warrants as read?
Yes.
As such, would you waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrants?
Yes.
Okay. And then I didn't know if I had you announce your name for the record. I'm sorry.
Me, Steffi Yellen from the Public Defender's Office.
Perfect. So, Mr. Cobb, good afternoon.
Yellen?
Your attorney has indicated that they have already had a chance to review the warrants with you, or someone from their offices has had a chance to review the warrants with you prior to court beginning today, and therefore they'll waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. You're here on case 22 SO11-003825 for one count of aggravated assault weapon. It's my understanding that Mr. Cobb has an aggravated assault from July of 2014 out of Fulton County, which will make him
Put his hands on somebody.
for bond. So, Mr. Cobb, what that means is I don't have the authority to hear bond on your case today. However, your attorney will file a motion and have your case heard before a superior court judge who does have the authauthority to set bond in approximately 2 weeks.
Back. We'll jump right after
also,
this.
You'll have a preliminary hearing if you don't make it out on bond before 8 weeks from now. You'll have what we call a preliminary hearing to see if they had enough probable cause to arrest you for this charge. But all I can do is let you know that you have a preliminary hearing in 8 weeks, and you'll have a bond hearing in 2 weeks. And I can't tell you the specific dates because I don't know the specific dates, and that will conclude your hearing for this morning. Okay.
Creed, I can't see Mr. Cobb, so I just went with
thank you and
the
have a
best
good
I
day.
could.
The next person then that I have on the calendar is Carl.
I think so.
Well, she just was there. All right, there she is.
There she is. She had to fix her hair real quick.
All right.
Looks beautiful. Don't you worry.
Oh, it looks great, girl. Looks great.
Where did she go? Oh, there she
that was me. Sorry. Look at her. Look at she's like, how's this look? Look at it. She's worried about her hair. Do you see who you're sitting next to?
That's what's making her worry. Like, oh God. You always want to look at your best, Creed, even if you're up on charges.
All right. Well, I thought they were.
Well said, Ms.
There we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Good afternoon. This is case number.
Oh,
has already had a chance to review the warrants.
You know what? It's a holiday week. I'm not even going to complain.
The warrants into the record. It looks like you're here on case 22-098658 for one count of theft by shoplifting felony. I'm going to hear from your attorney about what she would like me to consider prior to setting bond, and then I'll hear from the prosecutor's office. Counsel, you can proceed with your bond argument.
Creed puts it on, and we're
Thank
like,
you, Judge. Mr. Cooper is originally from Washington, D.C. He is a disabled veteran. He served in the Navy from 1979 to 1987. He's a high school graduate. He graduated from Battery Park High School in 1979, Your Honor.
Oh, he's an old man.
He's not employed because he receives benefits from the Veterans Association because he is disabled. He's been receiving those benefits for the last 3 years, Your Honor. He is 60 years old.
And
We are
shoplifting?
asking for a UJR in his case, Your Honor. We know that that wouldn't come without conditions. So we're recommending that he report to pretrial services. After speaking with Mr. Cooper, he mentioned a program that he
I know she said she was speaking, but has she been hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Association. It's a domiciliary for homeless veterans. That also comes with a rehabilitation program that he can enroll himself in. We'd also recommend that as a condition on his bond that he report directly to that program. Unfortunately, at this moment, he's not able to make.
That's them, not us.
Creed frame.
Look at her. Look at the judge. She's like,
financial
It's a
bond.
mice
He doesn't have
frame.
anyone to sign that bond for him.
A mice.
So we are JR because of that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I will say this: veterans should never be homeless.
Your Honor,
Ever.
he has an extensive
Absolutely.
criminal history from multiple states. Out of South Carolina, Your Honor, all of the convictions are older than 10 years. Out of state of North Carolina, all of the convictions are older than 10 years.
Okay.
Out of the state of Florida, there are 18 cycles from the
He's been on
past
tour,
10
Creed.
years.
That's Florida.
There's a 2013 for felony petty theft, but it's a felony based on multiple prior
Petty.
convictions. There's another
Petty.
conviction out of 2013
Petty.
for felony petty theft. It's a felony due to multiple prior thefts. There's another conviction for theft from 2014. It's a petty theft, but it's a felony based on multiple prior convictions. Out of the state of Tennessee, there are 2 cycles, none of note to mention to the court. Out of the state of Ohio, all of the cycles on the Ohio criminal history indicate that it was turned over to another agency. No reason was provided. Out of the state of California, there's only one misdemeanor cycle.
He
Out
is
of the state
everywhere.
of Virginia, there's 2 cycles, but those are for misdemeanor theft.
To be
Out of
homeless,
the state of
he does quite a
Kentucky,
bit of
from the
traveling.
past 10 years, all of the cycles are misdemeanors. And out of the
Out
state
Vegas.
of Georgia, the 3 cycles are misdemeanors. Most of his convictions are misdemeanors, Your Honor, but it's the pattern of the enormity of the amount of states where he's amassing criminal convictions that's a concern for the state. And he seems to be a high risk offender not returning to the court. That's why we are asking for a monetary bond of $5,000.
Okay, thank you.
Doug?
I will set the bond at $5,000. Mr. Cooper, I'm not going to do a stay away. Be mindful, however, though, that Walmart is very regimented about making certain that people that shoplift from them don't
He's
return.
on the Walmart
if you do
most
return,
wanted
I'm pretty
list.
sure they've given you a criminal trespass warning. And
every
said they do not
state.
want you
Every
back at that
state, that's it. All just
location.
Walmart
So if
robberies.
you return to that location, please be aware that they're going to have you rearrested. But I'm not going to add that as a special condition of bond. I'm just going to do a $5,000 bond on your case.
That's not bad.
If you're unable to make your bond, you'll have a
Not
preliminary
with
hearing
a
within 8
lengthy
weeks
record.
of today's date.
Like
Okay,
she was
thank
just
you and have a good
rattling
day,
off
sir.
here. All
Uh,
of petty crime,
Thank
by
you,
the way.
Jerry.
Real quick over on
Thank
Facebook,
you.
Elizabeth
The next
Liz
case,
Dickman. I am
was
sorry
Mr.
that you
Harris.
are
I
having such
see
a
that
bad.
there
I saw
a
that
few
too.
people that you needed.
Liz.
Is everyone in the waiting room here for the Harris matter?
Sorry.
Damn it, Liz.
Or how many people
Elizabeth
that you guys,
Liz
the public defender's office
Dickman
have here, or the DA's office have here on the Harris matter?
Brzezinski.
The witnesses will be mine,
I hope you
Judge.
have a
I'm
good day.
accepting Caroline Henderson, who is a licensed social worker.
I jump over to college
Let's go.
real quick. Got somebody, I believe.
That guy's got to use the bathroom real bad.
Yeah, he's got
that
one of the-
guy.
he's got a whole straight dress on, straight, not just a straight jacket.
Long, is that correct?
Yes.
I believe they call that
Long,
goth
according
creed.
to probable cause to hold you to answer to a charge of violation of a no contact order, a gross misdemeanor with a maximum potential sentence of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine.
Oh, that dude with the
Besides,
thieving
this
was
court
bad.
also found probable cause to hold you to answer to a charge of theft in the 3rd degree.
He's not very
Another
good at
gross
it, though.
misdemeanor with a maximum
Oh, I
potential
didn't,
sentence of 364 days in
Ooh,
jail
not good.
and a $5,000 fine. Would you like me to go over your rights at arraignment, or did you
Yes.
hear them when I went over them with?
There's Elizabeth Dickman.
There
Have a
you
better
are.
day, Elizabeth. Why so
What's wrong, Elizabeth?
gloomy? It could be like this dude over here.
I'm going to
Not in
condition
jail.
the criminal law group to represent you. We're going to enter a not guilty plea on each one of these charges. That's conditional on you filling out the application and the court getting it before your pretrial. and of course, finding that you qualify. But I've got to have that application filed before the pre-trial. I'm going to hear from the prosecutor on their request on bail. I'll hear from your attorney, and then I'll make a decision. Go ahead, Mr. Fire.
Your Honor, I would ask for standard release conditions. I will note that he has a warrant out of Wahkiakum County. I would ask that he clear that warrant before the pretrial, that he obey all protection orders. At this point, I believe, based on my concern is for the safety of Ms. Ragland in this case. It seems that this is a very disconcerting fact pattern. I would ask for the amount of $1,000 bail.
A disconcerting fact pattern.
It appears that he's got a very minimal history. I do note that
Very low bond.
He does have a warrant, but he's got no other warrant history that I can see. Anyway, we'd ask the court to PR him in this case.
Okay. What I have is a warrant out of Wahkiakum County on a charge of assault.
Nice to meet you. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Same complaining
Dick Command.
witness.
Love the name, by the way.
That
It's a very
causes
thorough
me a
name.
Great deal of concern. I'm going to set bail at $2,500 in this case.
Good luck to
Set
Emily
all
getting home.
conditions of Release here for a pre-trial December 6th at 1 p.m. via Zoom. Readiness
God.
December 20th at 2 p.m. via Zoom. The jury trial January 6th at 9 a.m. in person. Have no criminal law violations. Follow all no contact orders. Report any change of address to the court clerk and your attorney. If you are released, immediately call your attorney and meet with them. Complete your application for court-appointed attorney. Have no contact with whoever, direct or indirect. It's Cecilia Ragland. Do not go over 1,000 feet of 300 North Fifth Avenue.
You got the man spreader in the background. Too.
Oh, yeah.
Before your pretrial, if you're out of custody. Any questions?
I have set up some things to help me with that, which was therapy on December 6th. With that, so I can get help with some of the issues I'm dealing with.
Okay, well, you can go to it if you
Sounds like one of the main issues is keeping your hands to yourself. That's one of the first ones we don't work on.
We'll send over the paperwork for you so you've got it all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And I still haven't received my phone call either.
Uh-oh. Lawsuit.
Yeah, I'm heading there on Thursday. Not bad during this time of year, though. Just when everybody's there. Let's watch one more here on Collins. We'll jump back.
I don't know. This seems pretty good.
Now in Hobart, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Brasher, is state moving to amend the cause number in 9198 to driving while suspended in the second degree?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Okay, I will grant that motion to amend. Mr. Hobart, I have a statement defendant upon plea of guilty to the charge of the amended charge of driving while suspended in the second degree. Have you had a chance to review this with your attorney?
Is that true?
Yes.
I believe you understand it.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
You either sign it or authorize your attorney to sign for you.
God.
Sign it.
Thank you very much. The elements of this crime are that you within Cowlitz County operated a motor vehicle while your license was suspended and not immediately.
You guys said that she ran away.
Understand those elements.
Yes.
By pleading guilty, you're giving up the right to a speedy public trial in front of an impartial jury. You're giving up the right to remain silent.
This guy's so mad they woke him up.
You're giving up the right to testify on your own behalf. You're giving up the right to be presumed innocent and to appeal from a determination of guilt. These are your trial rights, and you're giving them up by pleading guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Got an attitude.
Maximum potential sentence here is 364 days in jail and a $5,000 in assessment from the license.
That was supposedly a snore, by the way.
Time. Do you understand?
That was not.
Yes.
Understand the prosecution making a recommendation 2 days in jail, 344 credit for time served, and dismiss count 2, which is failure to transfer title. Understand that is their recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, now I do have to dismiss that.
Can he say anything other than yes?
Charge once I accept
Yeah.
it, but I don't have to follow the prosecutor's recommendation on sentence. I can give you a new sentence up to the maximum. Do you understand?
Say it. Say it.
Yes? No?
Yeah. Is he creep framed?
You understand? I don't have to follow the prosecutor's recommendation.
He's passed out.
Nobody's moving.
Okay, looks like we locked up over this.
Somebody wake him up. He slipped into a coma during proceedings.
Creed frame.
I love this. Oh no, you can't leave this. Come on. This is like a train wreck.
Right again.
Bring him back, for God's sakes. There he is.
Can we get back over at the jail?
I saw him blink.
Okay, we had a computer problem there.
No, it was an internet problem.
Right. You understand that I have to dismiss count 2, but I don't have to follow the prosecutor's recommendation. You aware of that fact?
Yeah.
I can suspend sentence
There it
for up
is.
to 2 years. if
Thank
you're
you,
not a
Gary.
citizen.
Gary and man.
This plea could result in deportation, exclusion from admission, or denial of naturalization. Your
We're going
license
to deport him
suspended
too.
for another 12 months, and you can't have a commercial driver's license as a result of this conviction. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Then to the charge of driving while suspended in the second degree, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you making this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
He was rocked to his core by those charges.
No.
Anybody made any promises?
Nothing
to
phases
make you plead
him.
Guilty other than prosecutor's promised recommendation.
No.
I have a statement
Nah.
that says on or about September 26, 2022 in Cowlitz County, Washington, I drove a motor vehicle while my privilege to do so was suspended and was not reinstatable without a period of further suspension. Is that true?
Yes.
I find that there is a factual basis for this plea that it is knowingly, voluntarily, and
He's a
intelligently
barrel of
accepted.
fun.
Find the defendant guilty of this offense. I have noted on the judgment and sentence to count 2.
I know
is
it's Tuesday, but
dismissed.
he'd be a perfect
Pending
one for
multiple
Monday. Am I right?
Yeah.
Just ask you follow the agreed recommendation.
He's got a bad case of Mondays.
Thank you, Your Honor. And we are asking that you follow the agreed recommendation today. This was part of a global resolution taking care of his county and municipal matters. He's going to be pleading out in those, I believe, later this week or next. He is very sorry that he continues to drive, has continued to drive, but he's not doing that
He's
again.
very
He
sorry.
recognizes that as far as if he is picked up driving on a suspended license again,
Good to
he's
see
gonna
you,
get a
Georgia.
mandatory minimum time. Part of the global was that one of the municipal charges he would be required to plead to DWS 1. So one of those charges he will plead to, and he will be looking at mandatory minimum time. We're asking that the court finds of fees that are not mandatory and otherwise follow the agreed recommendation. Thank you.
Anything you'd like to say, Mr. Holbert, before I sentence you?
Please.
No.
Damn it.
I'll follow the recommendation. 20 days in jail credit for time
That's
served.
weird.
44 suspended for 24 months, $5,000
Good deal.
fine. All of it suspended for 24 months. My determination that the defendant is indigent.
Yeah, she's like, he
No
is
criminal law violations on any
so
act
sorry.
committed after imposition of sentence today. The ones that are pending don't count as a violation once you're convicted of them. You get a new one and it does. Don't drive without a valid license and
No.
insurance. We'll send
No.
all the paperwork
Yes.
for you so you've got all this written down. Thank you, Mr. Holbert.
Can I ask my attorney a question really quick?
No.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Please. Yes.
Most he
Is part
said.
of the agreement that we were going to run it concurrent with my other sheriff charges?
Remember, sir, we discussed that it's up to the judge that sentences you after.
Okay. Do you mind if I
Okay.
I
text
can't run
you
something
later?
concurrent with something that doesn't exist yet. So it's the last judge that makes that decision.
Okay, I wouldn't have pled guilty today then. Then never mind, that's cool.
What? I wouldn't have pled guilty.
I will leave that up to you, Ms. Schrader.
I mean, that's let's have a mic drop. He's like, oh, a Warman Creed.
And who do we have?
All right.
Christy Williams.
Hey, girl.
Hey, now.
What's going on, baby?
Okay, you are Christy Lena Williams, is that correct?
Yeah.
See ya.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Pre-trial, looks like you're currently being held on.
It's your favorite color.
$3,000
Yes.
bailed on a superior court. We have a readiness hearing set for January 9th, and the jury trial is set for January 30th. You're not held on this case. I'll hear from the defense first. Any issues to raise at pre-trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mrs.
Any issues
Grimm.
From the prosecution?
No.
Okay, we'll leave the dates as set, and we'll see you back for your readiness hearing on January 9th.
Your Honor, are we moving that to the January 10th?
We are moving that to January 10th.
My attorney come and visit me.
And at 2
They have
p.m.
babies.
We'll send over a new
January
book.
10th.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Can my attorney come see
Timothy,
her?
Timothy Russell, Your Honor.
I know he said something when he was rocking away. Oh my God.
Timothy, another bundle of energy. Come into this. Come on, have a
Yeah,
seat.
Timothy Allen Russell, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Russell, we're here on 3 cases. Malicious discipline, third degree.
JD.
They're all Kelso cases. That's a cause number that ends in 3013. Court issued a warrant for your arrest when you failed to appear on October 11th for a pretrial. You set bail at $1,000. I'll quash that warrant at this point in time. In the cause number that ends in 134,
okay?
It's a violation of no contact order. Court issued a warrant for your arrest on September 26th.
Got jokes today, Janice. I love it.
You're nailing it.
I'll quash that warrant at this point in time.
We're questioning warrants right and left, Creed.
On the cause number that ends in 1441, that's a driving while suspended third and set bail at $500. I'll quash that warrant at this point in time. So I'm going to hear from the prosecutor on their requests on bail, and then I will.
Hey, yeah, beautiful hair.
Yes.
He's nodding off.
Your Honor, at this point, we have one failure to appear in each of these. Looks like he may have resolved a burglary charge in the interim during some of the time that we've had these.
Let me
pending.
clarify something. He's under a warrant of commitment right now. If he's released on these matters, he goes directly to DOC custody, and he'll be on the chain to prison.
Yeah, he got 43 months.
That's 60 months. 60 plus 43 concurrent. Doesn't that sound right, Mr. Russell?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, 60 months. Sorry.
Yeah, 60 plus 43, but concurrent for a total of 60.
Yeah, that's right.
Based upon that, Your Honor, I'd ask for the amount of $100 bail on each case.
Judge don't look happy about that.
He took off
He
his
makes
glasses
bail
to
on
say
each one of
that.
the cases is gone.
At this point, I'll defer to the court on the amount of bail.
Okay, Ms. Graham.
World's worst attorney.
Well, this is, I don't have, he's going to be held in custody. I need to talk to prosecutors. Typically, they dismiss the misdemeanors if they're going to prison for 5 years.
I just plead guilty right now to all of them.
Yeah,
watch your
let's do it.
Ooh. Sorry.
Okay, no. You can't today. When's the chain go out? You know? Tomorrow?
The chain. He's on the chain game?
In just a second.
Yeah, the chain. They lock him up together, I'm assuming, and take him to prison.
He's got 60 months, but he's ready to just plead guilty to everything. He doesn't.
60 months, I guess, adding a couple of small charges ain't no big deal.
He's going to be gone for 5 years. I will dismiss without prejudice.
I'll grant the motion to dismiss each one of the charges without prejudice.
Whew.
You're free to go out on the chain tomorrow. Unless you got something else holding you. But
I guess just because
He's got a Longview matter, but I don't.
You got a Longview matter, they're going to see you at 1 o'clock. So if you get that resolved, you'll be out on the chain tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just in time for Thanksgiving dinner.
Frederick, Wanamaker, Your Honor.
I guess it's just because they're so small, right? I mean, they're not that big of a deal. And
You are Frederick Arnold Wanamaker, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Laura.
Wanamaker, I have before me a statement of defendant upon plea of guilty to a charge of first-degree criminal trespassing in the cause number that ends in 1542. Have you had a chance to review this with your attorney?
good group of folks here at college.
Strong, real strong.
Trespass. Understand the guilty plea.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Keep it here for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the elements of this crime are that you within the city of Kelso unlawfully entered to remain in the building of another. Do you understand those are the elements?
Yes, sir.
By pleading guilty, you're giving up the right to a speedy public trial, impartial jury. You're giving up the right to remain silent. You're giving up the right to hear and question the prosecutor's witnesses. You're giving up the right to testify on your own behalf. You're giving up the right to call your own witnesses, compel witnesses to appear at no expense to you. You're
Giving up
the
a
right
lot, bud.
to force the prosecutor to prove each and every element of the crime charged beyond the reasonable doubt. Giving up your right to appeal a determination of guilt. Do you understand? These are your trial rights. You're giving them up by pleading guilty.
Yes, sir. I do.
Maximum potential sentence is 364 days in jail, a $5,000 fine, and $5,215 assessments. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Prosecution is making a recommendation of 4 days in jail credit for time served, 360 suspended, $5,000 fine with all of it suspended, and that I dismiss the other cause number, which is a trespass 2. You understand? That's the prosecutor's recommendation.
That's where we're at, T.
Now I do have to dismiss that trespass 2, but I don't have to follow their recommendation. I could give you all the way up to the maximum on this offense. Do you understand that?
I understand that, sure.
Then to the charge of criminal trespass in the first degree, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
I plead guilty.
You're making this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
Anybody threaten you to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Anybody who made any promises to get you to plead guilty other than the prosecutor's promised
Yes, he
recommendation?
does.
No, sir.
I have a statement that says on April 8, 2021 in Kelso, Washington, I entered the condemned building at 1209 6th Avenue South, Kelso, knowing it was posted condemned and that I was not allowed in the building. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
He's hiding out in condemned buildings.
That it is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. I'll accept it. Find the defendant guilty of this offense. I'm handing to the clerk an order of dismissal after guilty plea on another case for that other charge of criminal trespass in the second degree. On sentencing, Mr. File.
Just ask the court to follow the recommendation as submitted.
Ms. Grimm?
Yes, Your Honor, we too ask you to follow the recommendation, just so the court understands. Apparently this residence was his mother's residence. He understands that he's not supposed to go there, and just because mom used to own it doesn't mean that he can be there. We've made that pretty clear. But it wasn't just some random house. It was a house that belonged to his family. So
it's a family home that's condemned.
I believe he's got the full 4 days served.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Mr. Wanamaker, before I sentence you?
How bad is it that your family is turning you into the law for trespassing?
I'll follow the recommendation. 4 days in jail, credit for time served, 360 suspended, $5,000 fine, but all of it's suspended upon my determination of indigent. Conditions of your suspended sentence.
$5,000.
Law violations on any act committed after imposition of sentence today do not go within
Chris,
the
hope you're doing well.
6th Avenue South in Kelso. We'll send over the paperwork for you. Hopefully they'll be able to process you out this morning.
He just needed a little private time, right? He was going to go in there and just like
okay, and I
chill.
think that's it for the jail. Now, my understanding is that Mr. File moves over to courtroom 6 to do a series of cases that require an interpreter.
You're just reminiscing.
Yeah, you do think.
If we can get it fast, 15 minutes. I don't know.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come back in about 15 minutes or as soon as my clerk tells me that Mr. File.
He's leaving.
Thank you for being present.
And tell them that
Creed, where are you at?
Laid by
Thank you, everybody.
something we can't control, and that they can stay in or come back.
I guess we're going to sit here until Cree comes back because
No,
he's
you're
got
right.
his stuff hooked up differently than mine, and his volume doesn't go away when we leave it. It just continues to churn on until his old codger be quiet in a minute. There we go.
Should I disconnect and come back or just stay on?
Okay, thank you. So, Ms.
Wait a minute. Okay, thank you.
You
Went away.
are before the court today for one count of possession of cocaine and one count of possession of a synthetic marijuana and
down
one
to
count
the
of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana in violation of the drug
Tell that old
control
man to shut up.
and then one count of
cocaine
obstruction
creed.
of law enforcement officers. This is going to be case
Certain.
22-098992. Your attorney has already gone over the warrants with you before court began. So I will now hear from your attorney.
Hey, Sarge.
what she would like to take into
Sarge.
consideration before I set bond. So if you can give me some background information about Mr. Moore, please.
Absolutely, Judge. Mr. Moore is 28 years old. He's from Georgia.
Chris?
He's been staying at the same address
Who's she
in
talking
Thurston
to?
for the last 15 years with his mother. He is
Good to see you.
expecting the birth of his first child, a daughter.
Mazel tov.
Hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, his longtime partner and the mother of his child, her labor was induced yesterday, Your Honor.
Oh,
So
Lord.
he is very hopeful to get out to see the birth of his first child.
What a terrible way to start off this kid's life.
Working at a Kroger warehouse, but unfortunately, he was suffering from some
thank
physical pain due to the type of work that he had to do at that warehouse. So he decided to look for different employment. He's got an interview set up to start working at Taco Mac next
Taco
Monday,
Tuesday.
Your Honor.
Taco
He
Mac?
completed up to the 11th grade
Look
in
that up,
high
Creed.
school. We've actually
On
reached
it.
a consent agreement with the state on this bond in the amount of a $5,000 bond.
These
Not to
tacos
go
have
too far
macaroni
into
and
the
cheese
facts
in
here,
it.
Your Honor. But
I'm going to lose my mind.
One second. Mr. Moore was not
Told
the
you,
driver.
neighborhood
of the
bar
vehicle. It
taco
seems like
Mac.
there was two other individuals that were in the car. He's not the owner of the vehicle. Looks like he was just the only one who was arrested. And all of the items that were found within the vehicle, he was charged with, Your Honor. So it seems like there's some clear equal access issues with this case. Given the circumstances, we're asking the court to agree with the $5,000 consent bond. Thank you.
Well, those are all the good things. Now we're about to hear all the bad things.
I'll hear from the state about his history.
Your Honor, he has 13 cycles out of the state of Georgia. It appears he's on probation in DeKalb County for a 2015 robbery where he used his first offender. He was sentenced to 9 years on March 20th, 2015. There's also a Clarkston 2018 possession of a firearm by a first offender, misdemeanor false name, felony marijuana possession out of Clarkston, but it did not have a disposition.
No, that happens to me all the time. It's usually
There
an
is
old
2019 DeKalb County felony marijuana possession of a firearm during a felony conviction where he was sentenced to 5 years, and that's to run concurrent with two other cases. One is a 2019 drugs case. Another is a 2021 drug case where it was a felony marijuana reduced to a misdemeanor possession of marijuana conviction.
I'll tell you about it in just a second.
There's also a June 2019 probation violation and a May 2021 probation violation. Given the amount of drugs that were found, Your Honor, and the way they were found, this could potentially be within backlog policy. That's why we were consenting to a bond, but his history is mainly drugs and guns, which is why we're asking for a pretty nominal or pretty sorry, not nominal,
drugs and guns,
significant financial bond for this amount of drugs, which is $5,000.
Drugs and pew-pews, not a good thing to start with this kid's
Harris
life.
Or Mr. Moore, you unfortunately get the speech that I'm sure the deputies get tired of hearing me give. Typically, I am not going to be overly harsh whenever it comes to drugs or guns by themselves, unless, of course, someone is threatening to do something violent to someone with said gun. However, my experience has been whenever guns and drugs are combined, that usually is an indication of drug dealing. Also,
get ready, here it comes.
Lots of the murders that we have in this county are usually because their guns and their drugs coupled together. I might be somewhat sympathetic towards you if you weren't already on first offender probation for a charge that involved a gun or some type of violence. I might be somewhat more sympathetic to you if you did not have yet another charge that involved guns and drugs yet again. So this will be the third time that you're coming before a court for something that's gun and drug related. I don't give that many chances. What I am going to do, because again, your history is the best indication of what you are going to do in the future. I do not want to release someone that has drugs and guns that is on 2 active probation cases back into the community with just the hope that they're not going to do for a 4th or 5th time what they've already been caught doing at least 2 or 3 other occasions. What I'm going to do as far as your bond, I will set your bond at $2,500 on that possession of cocaine charge. On the possession of the synthetic drugs, I will set your bond at $2,500. On the next charge,
the gun one's going to be big.
Regular marijuana charge, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that charge, and I will set the bond at $1,000 on that charge. Well, actually, I think it's just the synthetic marijuana, so it's just the no, there isn't marijuana lesson now. So I'll set 1,000 on that one. And then I'm assuming that there's another gun charge. They did not charge with the gun, or was I mistaken about the gun?
There's no weapon in this.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's a little different then. So I will take that into consideration.
Okay, that's a little better than take back that whole talk we just had.
So on the obstruction, I'll just set the bond at 1,000. But Mr. Moore, let me be very, 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 very,
Brief.
very clear with you.
Brief.
I'm giving you a bond that you possibly might be able to make.
She's got a crutch.
Based on the fact that you do have some extenuating circumstances. However, should you come back before the court again for anything else, if this is driving on a suspended license, you're not going to get a bond that you can make. It's absurd for you to be on probation and then still coming before the court, even if you're only running from police officers. Again, what that tells me is that you are not the type of person that's going to show back up for court. And that's one of the considerations that I have to take into consideration whenever I'm deciding whether or not to let someone out on bond. Understand that if you're released on bond and there's a bond company involved, they will be having their bounty hunters out for you, looking for you, should you not show
His
back
name's
up to
Dog.
but again, I will go ahead and set your bond a little bit higher than what they're asking. I'll set it at $7,000. And like I said, the only reason it's even that low is because you do not have any guns in this case.
I was going to say that the pew pew would have been.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any special conditions.
Way
I
up
don't
there.
want to, but let me also make sure I do this, Mr. Moore. I'm very certain that the judges have already told you. You already know my position on it, but do not possess a gun. It is illegal. It is against the law for you to have a gun. It doesn't matter if you're doing it for protection. It doesn't matter if you're doing it to protect others. You are not allowed to have a gun within arm's reach of your person because you are a first offender felon at this point. So please do not have a gun. Should you come back in front of me and it's some type of gun charge, should you come back in front of me and it's for fleeing from the police, if you come back in front of me and it's for drugs, you're not getting out of jail. Again, I'm going to be gracious because the state has agreed and consented to somewhat lower of a bond. And again, because of your special circumstances, but the buck basically stops here. Are you and I clear with one another, Mr. Moore?
No weapon this time.
Okay,
Let's be
thank
clear
you,
with
sir.
that, guys.
Have a
No
good
weapon
rest
this
of the
time. That's synthetic marijuana, though. I heard that's pretty bad stuff. Oh, Judge
Okay,
Neal,
so the next person I have
for her
is
dry
Charles.
demeanor,
Let me ask this for the jail.
class at top to bottom creed.
Real quick, and I hate to tell you this is kind of a bummer. Taco Mac, not what
no
I.
tacos, no macaroni and cheese taco. No.
Yeah, it's like a brewery place.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Real quick,
So sad.
Let me do something. I wanted to see this news story about this helicopter, which has nothing to do with court, but I just wanted to. Nor does Taco Mac. But I wanted to say very quick, cycles. Lisa B had asked those of you maybe who have not seen that yet. That is basically something that they've been charged with. They've gone through the whole cycle. In other words, they've gotten arrested. That's how you kind of get a gauge on if they've been real bad or not. Basically.
Yeah, I don't think they count the cases that get dismissed or anything like that. I think it's
right.
You got to go through the entire process.
So Doug had said, so this is pretty close to us. Nations Ford Road is not too far away.
Breaking news here in South Charlotte as Charlotte fires on the scene of what appears to be a helicopter crash.
Oh no, that's
just
terrible.
off I-77 near Nations Ford Road. These are live pictures right now from our North Carolina DOT camera. You can see emergency personnel. It appears to be off to the side of the road there. It's very difficult to see because of that informational sign right there. You can see there's some trees there blocking our
I'm guessing
view
that's
of
it right
what
there.
is happening there. It does appear that they're putting up some type of a yellow tape around the area there where this has happened. Right now, we're working to learn about what may have caused this crash. We might have been on
kind
board.
of helicopter is it?
Of course, we have crews on the way there. We're working to get as much information as we can. This is happening.
Not good.
It's the last few minutes, but again, you can see that traffic is backed up there.
Oh, that was on Noon News. So that was just
those are the
a little bit ago.
southbound lanes of I-77. Again,
Damn.
this is near Nations.
That's
Still a developing story. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's
for
terrible.
traffic or for
most
anybody involved.
Related. I know there are a lot of probation violations attached to much of the history that the district attorney sent over. But the actual convictions for cases, at least from what I can tell from what was sent to me, which I know my knowledge on the day of first appearance hearings is minimal as compared to the court and the district attorney, but appears to be relatively minimal. Judge, he is open to any sort of conditions that the court would want to impose upon him, whether it's a drug and alcohol evaluation or pretrial services. But he is ultimately indigent, and as a result, we
Really?
are requesting the lowest possible bond that the court would be willing
That's
to
not
set.
good.
I was going to ask the court for an unsecured judicial release. If the court does not deem that reasonable, given
It's a
his
bummer.
history, our request would be a $2,500 bond.
Thank you. I'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, he has 27 cycles out of the state of Georgia.
Well, I've been
For the
busy.
past 7 years, there is a December 2016 Grady
It's a lot.
County felony theft by taking conviction where there are 3 counts of theft by taking, possession of a firearm by convicted felon where he's sentenced to 5 years. A 2017 Grady County felony probation violation, a 2019 Grady County felony probation violation where he was revoked for 2 years. There is an open July 22nd, 2020 Thomasville felony theft by taking, and October 24th,
Very.
2021 Thomas County probation
misleading.
violation where he was sentenced to credit time served. He spent 3 months in jail for that. A May
In and out of the
2022
penal
probation
system, Craig.
violation and an August 11th, 2022 misdemeanor probation violation out of Seminole County. There also, Your Honor, apologies.
By the way, the ADA looks extremely comfortable.
There's also a probation violation warrant for a theft by taking case out of Thomasville, Georgia, that was issued November 2022. Since his history is entirely thefts, Your Honor, and probation violations, we're asking for a $7,500 bond and a do not return order, which was requested by our victim.
Okay, thank you.
Stay at home.
Mr. Roberson, the lowest I'm willing to go with your history is going to be 5,000. I will also sign the special conditions indicating that you were to have absolutely, you cannot return to the location
T-Talk,
of
good to
Rose
see you.
City Air at the Crab Apple Drive location. They do not want you there. Do
Don't
not
come
return
back.
to that location.
Stay
Again,
away.
your bond will be set at $5,000 with that do not return. Once you sign, that will.
I'm very
take care of
surprised
your
it's that
case
low
for
with his
today.
criminal
My
history.
signature should be signed and saved on the bond order and on the
My
special
bill's up too, girl.
conditions.
That's so annoying.
And thank you, sir, that
I
concludes
corrected like
your
5
bond
times. It's still
hearing
not-
for today. It's my understanding that Ahmad Shaw was released. Is that correct from the jail?
Hey, look out.
He's here. Okay, we can go ahead and hear his case then. Actually, well, that's fine. Mr. Shaw, it looks like you're here for 1 count of aggravated assault weapon, case CL 22-1318. I will now, your attorney has indicated they've had a chance to review the warrants with you before the court began, so they'll waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. I'll hear from your attorney about what they want me to consider before I set bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Shaw is an 11th grader at Druid Hill High School. He works part-time at a jewelry store. He's been doing that for the past 2 years to help his father. He described his father as getting older, so he chips in to help out. He's the only boy. He has 6 sisters and lives in Thurston with his family. They've been at the same address for the past 6 years. Your Honor, not to go too far into the facts here, but seems like this incident arose out of one of his younger siblings, age 15. Looks like the alleged victim here, age 20, had taken his younger sister out on what seems to be a date. Your Honor, obviously emotions were very high given the nature of the age difference here, Your Honor. It seems like there was a verbal altercation that arose out of this. Mr. Shaw was very transparent about what happened exactly, Your Honor. He adamantly denies that a firearm was ever involved in this situation, Your Honor. He disputes even owning a firearm, Your Honor.
A lot of moving parts here.
We have arranged a consent agreement to a bond in his case at $15,000. That includes a no firearms condition, Your Honor, which he was more than willing to accept, given the fact that he doesn't have firearms, Your Honor. It seems like there may be
We're all
some
getting older.
allegations that aren't as it seems, Your Honor.
Is she gonna cry?
Given
He
the
always
fact that
sounds
he
that
doesn't
way.
have much of a criminal history, any criminal history at all.
Is he
excuse me,
20? I
we're
didn't hear that.
asking that the court go along with the consented bond. Thank you.
All you got to
Yes.
do is shave, Jay, and they'll go away.
Does he have any history that you're aware of?
Your Honor, we did not show any criminal history.
Okay, thank you.
I need more details. He took his sister out on a date. There was some sort of altercation, and he possibly had a pew pew.
Mr. Shaw, were you listening as I spoke to the other people about guns and my issues with guns?
Pew pews, Your Honor.
I will allow the $15,000 consent between the state and your attorney. I will also place a condition that you were not to possess any firearm while on bond. Again, understand that possession can mean that you have a gun.
Is that true? I mean,
If that's the
there's
case,
a lot.
it's different.
Okay, so he's almost. I mean, the way I'm listening to this, his dad maybe is in bad health. His sister is too young to be out on a date, by the way, with anyone. It's almost like this young man is now the man of the house. Is that what we're understanding? He's taking on all the burdens of the household and being in the 11th grade.
Gary, I swear to God, that's how she explained it. I guess I wasn't listening past that part.
I got really confused at that point.
Yeah, if Griggy's right on that one, then all right.
If that's the case, that somebody was messing with his little sister, was being preyed on.
Thank God you're here, because all I heard is he took his own sister out on a date. So,
I mean, my heart goes out to this guy. I know what it is to grow up in a household where you got to struggle. And now he's having to be the dad.
And real quick, Mikey, your heart goes out to other things. I just want to check in with Mikey Mike Radio Talk Show and see what he's doing today. Doing some court today.
Yeah, good for that guy. He's breaking ground.
Hey, look out.
Right, OJ?
Oops.
Right, OJ. Oh, that you got confused. You didn't know which one was us.
I did.
Within arm's reach
one was
of
ours?
you.
Which one was
So you
this?
should not be in possession of any firearms while on bond.
Yeah, you don't need a
Again,
gun.
Mr. Shaw, again, if you have the misfortune of coming back in front of me, that 15,000 will seem like the
You want me to see if I can
smallest
rewind that?
bond on the planet. If you should
Can you
come back in
rewind
front
it?
of
Yeah,
me
because
for
it's
something
live.
I don't know if we
of a
can or
gun
not.
charge.
Well, you might be able
Some,
to.
Oh, yeah.
in
Wouldn't hurt
Clarkson with
listening to
his
that again.
family.
Order and on the special condition. Okay, we can go ahead and hear his case then.
Okay, let's hear this explanation one more time.
Yeah.
Actually, well, that's fine. Mr. Shaw, it looks like you're here for one count of aggravated assault weapon, case CL 22-1318. I will now, your attorney has indicated they've had a chance to review the warrants with you before the court began, so they'll waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. I'll hear from your attorney about what they want me to consider before I set bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Shaw is an 11th grader at Druid Hill High School. He works part-time at a jewelry store. He's been doing that for the past 2 years to help his father. He
Jewelry
described
is
his father
jewelry,
as
just so you
getting
guys know.
older. So he chips in to help out. He's the only boy. He has 6 sisters and lives in Clarkson with his family. They've been at the same address for the past 6 years. Your Honor, not to go too far into the facts here, but seems like this incident arose out of one of his younger siblings, age 15. Looks like the alleged victim here, age 20, had taken his younger sister out on what seems to be a date. Your Honor,
So a 20-year-old took a
emotions were
15-year-old
very
on a date.
high, given the nature of the age difference here, Your Honor.
That's
It
how you
seems
say
like there
jewelry
was
in
a
the South.
That's how I say it,
verbal
too.
altercation that arose out of
Exact
this.
same way. Jury.
Mr. Shaw was very transparent about what happened exactly,
Yeah,
Your Honor.
we went off on this kid.
He
So
adamant.
Yeah, this
No.
I mean, this is an entirely this
All
is a sad situation for this young man who is
Very.
being put far too much on his plate at a young age, and he is handling it the best he can. The only thing I wanted to say is do not be picking up guns, young man. That's the last thing.
Yeah, if all of it didn't have anything to do with a pew pew, which I think it
seems like it did, like he had one.
Yeah, we
can't
had,
put the
we had
gun
that
down.
wrong. Thank God. All right.
Before you end up, shooting somebody by.
Well, then you're really making.
Then
some
life is ruined.
And didn't they say this kid he ain't been in any trouble before? This is his first.
He's
time
first time he's ever in trouble. It seems like he's 11th grader. Been working 2 years helping his aging father who has 6. Count them 6 sisters.
So and then there's so his sister's 15 years old meeting a 20-year-old though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what the law is in Georgia.
Denies that a firearm was ever involved in this situation.
Okay, he's saying he
Your
didn't
Honor.
have one.
He disputes even owning a firearm, Your Honor. We have arranged a consent agreement to a bond in his case at $15,000. That includes a no firearms condition, Your Honor, which he was more than willing to accept, given the fact that he doesn't have firearms, Your Honor. It seems like there may be some allegations that aren't as it seems, Your Honor. Given the fact that he doesn't have much of a criminal history, any criminal history at all, excuse me, we are asking that the court go along with the consented bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask this of the state.
Far too high.
Does he have any history that you're aware of?
Your Honor, we did not show any criminal history.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, who here doesn't have they had a 15-year-old sister being preyed on by a 20-year-old?
Mr. Shaw, were you listening as I spoke to the other people about guns and my issues with guns?
Take care.
Hi, Garfield.
I will allow the $15,000 consent between the state and your attorney. I will also place a condition that you were not to possess any firearm while on bond. Again, understand that possession can mean that you have a gun within arm's reach of you. So you should not be in possession of any firearms while on bond. Again, Mr. Shaw, again, if you have the misfortune of coming back in front of me, that 15,000 will seem like the smallest
it's
bond
far
on the
too
planet.
far
You
too
should
high
come
for
back
this
in
young
front of me
man.
for something new and you have a gun charge. Do not have a gun, do not be anywhere near any guns. And I'm assuming, let me ask this of the state, were you also wanting there to be a stay away from this victim?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to wait until Your Honor.
How about a stay away from his damn sister?
Okay. And I'm also
you
going
pervert.
to add that there's to be a stay away from the victim in this case. There should be no need for you to have any contact whatsoever with him. So again, you cannot call him to say that you're sorry or you apologize. None of that. You cannot have any contact at all with
This
the
is a
victim.
tough one, man.
So no
This is
guns
so
while
tough.
It
you're
is.
out
I'm glad
on
we backed
bond.
it up because I wanted
Also,
to, but
contact with
I still think she's being a little harsh on him. Though,
She is because it seems to me it's like a he said, she said about there even being a weapon involved.
Yeah. Innocent until proven guilty. If there is not a if there isn't a pew pew right there, then you kind of gotta I would I don't know though, that county, she talks about how bad the gun violence is in that county,
And I see why she's taking this very seriously, but again, at the same time, we're not thinking with legal minds. We're thinking as fathers, as mothers, as children. You think of all those things. Obviously, he doesn't have a mother in the home, and everything has fallen onto him, which is tough.
Hey, good point. Yes, she did for a 13. The one with the 13 cycles.
Again, I guess with the factor of supposed weapon being involved, it's I don't like that at all.
victim, and I will go ahead and set the bond at the $15,000 as requested in the consent by your attorney
like
in
a
the
lot.
state.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
All right. I'm glad we went back on that. How about some
Once
more
you-
Georgia, Mikey? You want to jump over here and
get on over.
We're live here. I will be RB. You okay for a minute?
Absolutely.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 007914E with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children and the third. Their history, Mr. Howard?
It's a fourth arrest. Last was 2021 disorderly conduct out of East Point. It was admitted to a non-fingerprintable charge. She got first offender for shoplifting in 2013. And terroristic threats that was dead docket from 2012. That's it.
I hope this guy's bond is over 15,000. Because I'm gonna be mad if it's
Your
not.
Honor. As to this defendant, the facts as alleged are that on the date of November 19th, 2022, at the location of 2958 Blunt Street in East Point, this defendant punched her live-in girlfriend, and her name is Von Seal Griffin, and that's spelled VONCILLE. The defendant punched her girlfriend in the face multiple times, and the victim's 10-year-old son actually was the one to call the police. He heard his mother getting beat, and he heard the defendant yelling profanities at his mother. So he did call 911, and he did tell the operator that he wanted to make the call anonymously because he was afraid that he would get in trouble for calling 911.
Poor little guy.
The officers did arrive, and they did observe swelling and redness to the victim's face, and they also observed an injury to her lip. As pretrial mentioned, her last arrest was for disorderly conduct in Cobb County. I don't have that she has any violent convictions on her record. However, the state does believe that this defendant poses a danger to the victim in light of the facts of this case. More specifically, the fact that the victim's child was present in the home at the time, but for the child calling the police, arguably the defendant would have continued to beat the victim in this matter. So not only did the defendant cause harm to the victim, the adult victim,
Traumatized the poor kid.
Defendant caused harm to a minor child that was 10 years old. So the state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond for those reasons. The breakdown of the state's bond request is $2,000 on the family violence battery and $2,000 on the cruelty to children. The state also recommends anger awareness as well as no further contact with either victim. Von Seal Griffin, the other victim would be the minor child. And the state is also asking for a stay-in.
Good for that young man being able to
Ms. Griffin?
be strong enough to get
Had
to the phone.
contact with the victim in this matter. She did indicate that she doesn't even know how the police got called. And she indicates
There's
that
another heavy one, guys. It's heavy.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Ms. Wagner, she is 30 years old and they no longer have any relationships. They do not live together anymore. Apparently, they don't have any children either. So my client has no objection to stay away nor further contact. She is actually residing with her sister in Lithonia, which is far from East Point, and there will be no further contact whatsoever. My client has been working at a new job for the last 2 weeks to deliver the parts to 18-wheelers, and she does not want to lose her job. She wants to go back to the job, which is relatively new, and she graduated from high school, and she pleads not guilty. She is strong about that. She has contrary evidence that she can prove that she's not guilty, and we would like to request
It's a different one.
bond for this particular case, so she can go home and spend time with his family at the for the Thanksgiving. Thank you.
She just called her a he.
Cruelty to children, it's $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, so it makes a total of makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Griffin, stay away from the Blunt Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Stay away from that lady and her child, for God's sake.
Position 14, Miller.
Should be ashamed.
How dare you?
Thank you, Greta. That's a good way of putting it. How dare
Good
you?
afternoon, Ms. Miller. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You have been charged in case 22 CR 007912A with simple battery family violence. I'm told by pretrial that this is Ms. Miller's first arrest.
I'm not going to guess because they said both.
It's 2022. Just say they.
Thank you.
Just stay out of
That
it.
is correct, Your Honor. The state does also have that this is her first arrest. The facts as alleged are that this defendant and her mother, the victim, Ashley Miller, were driving within the vicinity of 10 Park Plaza, which is in Alpharetta. It's the Alpharetta City Library. At that time, they were discussing their uncle's estate, and somehow an argument erupted. The defendant did strike her mother in the face, and her mother did call the police. Upon arrival, the officers did not observe any injury. However, the defendant did admit to striking her mother in the face because her mother called her names. For the reason that this defendant is 17 years old and has no prior arrests or convictions, the state would
She'll be
consider
homeless.
a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. The state is also recommending no violent contact with the victim, Ashley Miller, as well as 1-day anger awareness, as well as a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. Nothing further.
70-year-old hitting her mom in the car.
Yeah, Mr. Lynch, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So we would ask that you accept that recommendation as far as release. Now, I know that she does work, excuse me, but I'm not sure if that would interfere with the curfew, but I would ask that.
Where she work?
Or work. I'm trying to see where I have her.
There not be Taco Mac.
I guess she's in high school. She's a senior at Alpharetta High School. She does work at a restaurant. That's
She
right.
just
I can't
waved.
remember the name of the restaurant, but we would just ask that she be allowed to work if that does go through the curfew. As far as her being 17 years old, her mother, who is the alleged victim in this case, is going to be the only adult contact that she has. I'm not sure if we can sound for her. I did try to make contact with her, but I haven't made contact. Can we see if she's on the call by any chance?
She's here in the gallery.
Okay.
Where's mom at?
I don't know if we maybe ask.
We
whether
definitely need to hear from the mom.
Sign for her to
It's
be
like
released.
reminiscent of Judge Kim days, right?
Yeah. When we're done with her, I've got something kind of strange going on in Kansas City.
Okay. All right. I like that.
I don't know what's happening, but it's a
Good
packed
afternoon,
house.
Mr. Miller. I'm Judge Eric.
There's
Is
mom.
the mother?
Raise your right hand for me.
Hot damn.
All right, now we're gonna get some facts.
The truth, the whole truth.
Oh,
and
boy.
nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. So your daughter is going to need a co-signer if she is to be released. Are you willing to be that co-signer, and are you willing to have her back into your household?
Yes, as long as she is compliant with whatever, rules and regulations, I'm fine with that.
Okay, are there some rules and regulations that she's not abiding with that you're having issues with?
Just mainly being respectful. I think she has a very resourceful and a life of somewhat privilege, and it's an issue of entitlement at times. And I just want her to be respectful.
Gave her too much.
She's a mom, and I work very hard, and I just feel that needs to be valued. She's 17, and I mean, she's a bright girl. She's very smart.
Could you ever hit your mom?
That she takes
No.
advantage in the right way.
Not that I remember anyway.
Neither have I.
Properly attending school?
Yes.
And do you believe that a curfew would be helpful for her at this time?
Yes, however, she does work, and sometimes her work does require
Hey, Sarah.
that she gets off at around 10:30 to 11
Hey,
o'clock.
it's
at
Jennifer's
night.
mom.
So that curfew may not work for her as far as her work schedule. She is a very good worker.
Sounds like her mom probably made her get a job, you know what I'm saying? Like teach her a little bit of
Don't have any
responsibility and things like
I'm gonna be
that.
a TikTok star, mom.
So if I impose a 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. curfew, so that she can leave for school but she can't be out past 11 p.m. Would that be helpful for you?
How about not out past 9 o'clock?
So we'll do that. Anything else, Ms. Miller, that you want the court to know?
No.
Okay.
You gonna waive utility bills there? Since she's in court, I'm just right
yeah.
here.
Oh hell!
Yeah, since she's in court, I'll waive the utility bill so that she doesn't have to go and find one. So so you'll have to sign for Ms.
Okay,
Miller.
I was about to say,
$1,000
I go find a utility bill.
She's to have 1 day of anger awareness, no further violent contact with her mother, Ms. Miller, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on.
Jennifer Edwards, look at you.
A ghost from the past.
11 p.m.
11
You have an
p.m.
awesome
to 6
Thanksgiving. Good to see you, Jennifer.
11 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, tell CJ we say hey.
Ashley Miller.
Tell him Big Mac Mikey said, "Hey, baby."
You have any other questions, Mr. Howard?
No. I'll call the pretrial intake. Francois, can y'all send mother to the intake, please?
By the way, the voice of the guy you're hearing now is he's like the clerk from the other day. He's
Thank you.
he does a lot.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Yeah,
A lot of behind the scenes work.
Position 9, Henry.
Okay, so jump over here, Creed, because I don't know what's going on.
My God.
Supuestamente es la ciudad, pero dice que es el
A
condado
lot of
que
moving
está,
parts.
A lot of language I don't know.
Yo traigo todos los papeles aquí.
They were not
Y
speaking
yo
this
le dije
when
al
I got
oficial
here.
que yo tenía la licencia suspendida, pero tuve la necesidad de
You think
manejar.
it's for Miss Yang over here? Do you think she's a Spanish-speaking individual?
Yo respondí al teléfono y eran las 7 de la noche. Y entonces el oficial llamó a la escuela y
Got a
me
1
dijo que
in 30
estaba
chance.
Get your guesses in. Get
y
your
yo no
guesses
sabía
in
que
on
él estaba en
who.
un partido de fútbol. Por eso era que yo estaba rápido en zona de 20 a 40. Pero sí tenía aseguranza.
Did you turn on closed captioning before Tanisha falls asleep there?
When
With
the
her rubber swim cap on.
I did have insurance. I tried to explain that to him. I was suspended because I have an ongoing case right now. I thought it was with the city. I guess it's with the county. That's what he told me. I told him that I knew I was suspended, but I was in an emergency because my kid was in his school. It was 7 p.m. and he hadn't answered
This
the
is the
phone.
translator, by
Called
the
the
way.
school, found out he was at a football game, but I didn't know that, and that's the reason that I was speeding in a 20 zone.
Okay, so what
Hey,
steps
Walter.
have you taken to try and get your license reinstated?
There he
Okay,
is.
¿cuáles son los pasos que ha tomado usted para tratar de que ya le
Bam.
devuelvan a no suspender la licencia?
Bueno, yo vine aquí a donde estoy y aquí me dijeron que aquí no tenía que venir, que tenía que ir a Legends.
So this guy's in for
a
speeding.
Legends a buscar al oficial.
We've brought in an
Busqué al oficial
interpreter.
Y el oficial me dijo de que yo no tenía tiquete.
Beyond
por
this
haber
guy,
tenido
though, there's
accidente,
a
porque yo no fui el
plethora
culpable,
of action.
que yo tenía
Yeah,
que
what
ir
up
a
with
buscar
Terry here?
el récord del
I think
accidente.
Terry threw us in a
Yo le dije,
purse
yo
or something.
tengo el
Doesn't it look
récord
like
del
we're
accidente,
inside something
y con
bouncing
eso le voy a
around?
enseñar
Terry.
para que vean que la ciudad fue la que me pegó a mí. Y yo todo eso lo hice, pero
Terry,
así
pick up
todo
the phone,
todavía me
Terry.
siguen diciendo que el condado es el que me tiene suspendido la licencia. Y yo tengo todos mis papeles arriba y no he podido
We're
pagar.
breaking all
Me mandaron
rules
a
in
sacar
here.
una
All
R22
right, Emmanuel's been
cuando yo
working
no
out.
fui el que choqué.
Got an elbow right by your face. Be careful.
So I came here. I tried to fix it here. They told me it was not here. They said I have to go to the
Genevieve
Legends
gun
and
down there.
find
We getting a crotch shot? Or?
the cop that was there. I did go, and when I went, he told me
don't know
that
what
I
we're
didn't
looking
get
at.
any ticket from that because I was not at fault for the accident. He told me to find
Not
records
sure.
or reports of the accident. And I told him I have everything upstairs, but the city was the one who hit me. So I'm confused. They even had me get an R22 insurance, and I wasn't at fault.
Got Mr. Wilson up
I'm
here
going to,
behind the wheel at
refer you
this
to
point.
Kansas Legal Services.
Ok, yo lo voy a referir a los servicios legales de Kansas.
Washing machine.
You're going to see an icon pop up on the screen to join breakout room.
Va a ver en su pantalla que diga unirse al grupo.
We need to have the interpreter here for one other person, so she'll join you shortly.
Ocupamos la intérprete para una más persona, entonces usted únase y ahorita va a llegar la intérprete luego, ¿ok?
Okay.
Hey, this is Debbie. Is there any way
He
one of
needs a
y'all
date.
can let Terry know to take us out of her
December 20th.
pocketbook? Thank you.
20 de diciembre.
Okay, Marvin Villatoro.
Wilson, yeah,
Marvin
looking underneath
Villatoro.
the steering wheel. I see.
Yes.
See, he's here.
Okay, so I don't
I can
see
translate
him
that.
on my docket today. Why is he here?
Yo no lo veo aquí en mi lectura de cargos. ¿Por qué está aquí?
He showed up for court knowing he had to be here.
Porque tengo tenía corte con ustedes.
Oh, there's Genevieve. Where? Yeah, that's
I
her.
believed I had court with you guys.
That's her leg,
All
thigh,
right, Melody, can you enlighten
groin
me?
area.
Melody, ¿me podría decir?
I
He
didn't
showed
see. Does he go by another name?
He
¿Tiene
showed up for
otro
court and he
nombre?
doesn't need to be here, Creed.
Marvin Javier Villatoro.
Marvin Javier Villatoro.
Yeah, we heard
Benitez.
that.
Benitez.
I don't think you could translate his name.
Nope,
Whatever
don't see
comes
it.
out of his mouth
Yo
is
no
what
lo
it
vemos.
is.
Do you have a document showing you have court
Well, like you
today?
said, Marvin,
¿Tiene
and
un
it
papel,
translated
un
to
documento que le diga
San
que
Juan,
tenía corte hoy?
Santiago
Sí,
from
pero
yesterday.
ahorita se los voy a ir por él.
Yes, let me get it.
Okay.
Okay.
He just, actually, Marvin just like showed up for court. He really does. He loves the process. He's just going to show up. Somebody's a Kansas City fan up there.
I don't think we've ever had Kansas City.
We've never been here. There's so many courtrooms we're subscribed to.
Tengo
Just to give you an idea,
donde dice, número de
380
caso.
380 courtrooms we're subscribed to.
Okay, that it should, if you actually have a copy of the ticket, there should be a red number in the upper right-hand corner. Do you have that?
Sí, debe de estar en la mano derecha en letras rojas. ¿Sí lo tiene?
I'll tell you what, we'll
Es lo
come
que
back to
tengo
here,
como
but
ahead.
we've got a
Go ahead.
celebrity on over here, and it's been a while. It's Dave.
Dave, everybody. Good to see Dave back.
Hey, Dave.
Ms. Brooker, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Anyway, we can turn Mr. Griswold up.
We'll be back next week. Right. Okay.
I think he's cranked up.
All right. This is an unusual
Oh, my
case. because
goodness.
you're an adult and yet under the juvenile court's jurisdiction. So it'd be nice for you
Yes,
to get
sir.
off probation, but
I would love
it's gonna depend on you. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Everybody but the judge is loud.
Back to Mr.
Huh?
LaGrange now.
Everyone but the judge is loud.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, this is an arraignment. The prosecutor here on standby defense counsel. The charge against you is on May 13th of 2021.
Love Dave.
That you delivered the controlled substance.
Oh, yeah.
Psilocybin, if I pronounced that correctly. At any rate, if convicted, you face up to 7 years imprisonment. You
What's
understand?
psilocybin?
And the maximum possible penalty.
Sulu.
All right, you signed an advice of rights form. Did you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Dave's
otherwise,
not
it's a
here.
right to an attorney. If you could not afford one, the court would appoint one for you. Do you plan to hire your own, or would you?
You guys all know, right?
Court appointed.
That's a little sus.
Okay, your name
Not
will
gonna
be
lie.
referred to the agency that does the.
Coming around here, I don't know.
Dave usually has a huge
805
newspaper
silver.
or magazine.
No, I actually changed. I moved.
What is the new address?
not here. 655 Grant Street. It's in Vanderbilt.
655 what street? Ranch?
He said 53
Grant. Grant.
Ranch Street.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Fenton is to bond.
Mr. Rollo was asking for a 10,000 PR bond on this case, Judge.
All right. Mr. Brown, any comments? So where'd you go?
Mr. Brown?
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right.
Larry Brown,
I didn't
everybody.
hear everything that was going on.
Oh, my Uncle Larry.
I have no objection to that.
Okay. Mr. LeBrander, you're going to be released on a personal recognizance bond. That means you don't have to post any money. There'll be a hearing date set up. You do have to report to community corrections.
Are you kind of surprised we haven't heard a bunch of people talking about, hey, it's Thanksgiving, I want to get out? I've only heard it like once today.
She is community corrections. She's the person you need to report to.
Yeah, I am kind of surprised. Tomorrow it's going to be real hot.
Alcohol or
True.
drugs that are not prescribed for you. That's important that you understand that you appear in court when you're required to do, and that you contact your attorney. You'll be notified of that individual's name.
Yeah, giant
very
light
soon.
box.
Our next hearing date will be on December.
That's for when he
a week
goes to his Dave OnlyFans account.
Okay. Do you have any
Your Honor.
questions? Pardon me?
Sorry, just for Mr. LeGrander's information, I think I've had him for something previously. The officers will have my business card. Pick one up and don't forget to call me.
Here's my business card as well. Pick it up,
Right.
put it down, see what you can do with it.
We're all set. We'll see you a week from Thursday. Thank you, officer.
All right, let's go back to this Kansas City.
Still trying to figure out why Marvin's here.
Yeah, but I'm in my house right now.
Where's your car?
¿Dónde está su carro?
Oh, en el parqueo.
I think we've missed some good exchanges here.
Solo tardo como un minuto a ir a traer el papel.
I can be back in a minute.
Yeah, well, take your phone with you. And like I said, it's going to take the interpreter a while to help the other gentleman that is talking with legal services.
Está bien, lleves el teléfono con usted.
She's
Como
not
le
coming
dije,
back
el
then.
tiene que ayudarle a otro señor
Love
antes que
Judge
usted, entonces va a
Manning.
tardar
Love
un
her.
poco de tiempo. Está bien.
Entonces la llamada, esto va a seguir siempre aquí por la.
I couldn't hear him. ¿Puede repetir, por favor?
Esto va a seguir por el teléfono.
Antonio.
La llamada.
This will continue
Beautiful
on
Mikey
Zoom,
here.
this call.
Yes, you join the breakout room that you're going to have an
Another celebrity over here will go right back. Remember Elliot? Remember Elliot with that woman? The divorce?
He is a heavy hitter, so to
Yeah,
say.
he is.
Pulls
There's
no
a lot-
punches.
A lot happening over there.
Okay.
We have somebody in the breakout.
All right, so we're done with
Zoom
all the
booth one.
translating.
Man, this
Yes,
guy.
my name is Gail Bowie. I don't feel well today.
Oh, man, y'all's
How do you spell your
dog.
last name,
Cutie.
Gail?
Gawie. I don't have the insurance.
Gail, just hold on a moment. Let me
Hold
find
on.
your ticket, please.
Hold on,
Zoom
Gail.
booth.
Give me your
Gail's got
last name one more time.
Some extra teeth.
Gawie.
Is this person okay?
All right,
Is it-
Gail, you're charged with leaving the scene, no insurance, and a tag violation. What do you want to do to? Looks like the leaving the scene you've already pled guilty to, so you just owe us money on that. But the no insurance and tag violation, you got those back in April. What do you want to do on that, on those two charges?
Okay, this is what I need to do. First of all, this is the last time, I promise you. My mama, she's supposed to be taking me over here. I told you this last time. I gotta find this woman because simple fact is that man is dead. But at
No,
the same-
I'm not gonna give you more
What?
time, Gail. You're talking about an accident that occurred not 8, but 7 months ago.
that man is dead, and he's wisdom tags. That
Yeah.
man is dead.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to have you talk to the prosecutor. You tell
The
the
man's dead,
prosecutor what efforts you have
Hey, now.
undertaken to try and
LaBelle,
determine that
everybody.
person's identification and whether or not that person had insurance, and they can determine if they want to continue any further, but I'm not going to. So we'll have you join the prosecutor's breakout room.
Yeah, right down the road. 4 miles over the right past Carowinds.
Okay, so where
You'll
do I
see join breakout room pop up.
I
on
like
your
that she
screen.
doesn't want to have to pay anything because somebody has died, Creed.
Right? I mean,
In my continued struggle to
right,
become a certified
Cody?
court reporting officer, Petty,
Yeah.
LaBelle, this one
Yeah,
is
Cody, what's
in
your
your
name?
honor.
Cody
I just went over
Kincaid?
there, and this is our young lady who wants
nailed it.
everything thrown away because the man is dead, Creed.
All right, Cody, leaving the scene of an
Jeez,
accident and
ain't
no
having a
driver's license.
Bad day.
Back in August, what do you want to do today?
So I took a 4-hour driving improvement course,
Okay. What did the dog do?
and then I was going to see about the fines.
Okay, so we'll have you join the breakout room, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Cody, cut and dry.
All right, I see an iPhone, looks like a white ceiling or a white wall, no face. All right, I see a black gentleman. What's your name,
White
sir?
ceiling wall, no face.
Great description, Your
All
Honor.
right, Curtis, you're charged with a tag violation, no license and no insurance back on September 1st. What do you want to do today?
Today I have the registration and the insurance for that car.
There you
Okay.
go.
But I don't have my license.
All right, what's going on with your license?
2 out of 3 ain't
Well, I
bad.
never had my license, but when I found out, when I went to go get it, they said I had to get it reinstated from another case that I had previously. So I'm working on that right now.
And so how much money is owed on that case? Do you know?
Right now they told me 208, but it'll be 108 if I find the registration
Somebody's
for
got
that
a
car.
smoke detector. It needs a
But
9-volt
I
battery. You
told
can get them at the
them
Dollar
not
Tree.
yet. They
I
just
hear it
told me
beeping.
as far as for what they was working on right now, because the lady didn't understand why my license was suspended in total if I never had one.
Well,
So we was
what
trying to
happens
figure it out.
is
interesting.
Let me explain something.
Go ahead.
When you get a traffic ticket and you fail to appear on that traffic ticket,
Unfortunately.
the state usually generates a license number and they suspend that license number. Same penalties, same everything. Doesn't make any difference whether or not you've had a license. You're driving on the streets, and so you still have to do everything you're supposed to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you talk to.
So
Kansas
you
Legal
get caught
Services.
without a license,
They
you
can
can
double
still have
check
your
to see
license
what's going on
suspended,
with,
even though you don't have
if
one
that's
or
the
never
only
had
hold
one.
on your license. Will continue to December 20th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be in person.
Genevieve's
December
license,
20th,
long
1 o'clock
face.
in the afternoon. Hit the icon that says join breakout room.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I think she took us with her to the bank.
Jeremy Thornsberry.
Let's watch one more, and we're gonna jump on out of here. We got a chase coming up. 4:05 East. Is it 2 for Tuesday today, or
Jeremy, you're charged with a stop
it's,
sign violation and no
Tuesday.
insurance.
Tuesday.
What do you want to do today?
Holiday week Tuesday.
Nice.
You're lucky there'll be a few wild women tomorrow. So
prosecutor.
All right, so you'll see a icon pop up on your screen says join breakout room.
And don't forget, tomorrow's our last day, but we got something for you. Thanksgiving, if you got the time, want to hang out a little bit.
All right, Terry W. I don't see
Terry.
a face. I just see
Terry.
light movement. All right,
Ah, there
Terry,
he
what's
is.
your last name? You have to unmute, Terry.
I'm gonna say Williams.
Westerly.
Williams.
Yeah, baby.
All right, I see a tag violation, driving on suspended, and a failure to appear. Do you know why your license is suspended?
Yes, sir, for unpaid tickets.
All right, how much do you owe on those tickets?
More than I can afford, honestly.
Where are
good
those
answer.
tickets located? Which court?
Good answer.
Independence. Well, I got one in Independence, Riverside.
Oh, Pass,
Here.
we love watching the
And,
ice skating ones. It's that time of year
Yeah,
again.
and here.
We've seen some good
Okay.
falls.
Real good.
Terry, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. Are you employed?
Trick question.
Conveniently didn't
Can't
hear
hear you,
that question.
Terry. Are you employed?
He said, "We're breaking up."
I'm sorry. We have connects.
Yep, we've lost your audio.
Okay, there we go. I'm back.
Okay. So
Next
I'm going
question.
to appoint the public defender to represent you.
He's where I'm
Your
by.
next court date is going to be
You're not
January
gonna ask him?
19th
It worked.
at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Terry, it worked.
Terry is a genius.
Terry for the win.
And what's going to happen is in between now and then, you try and take steps to get your license reinstated. The public defender on that date, they're going to have about 30 or 40 clients.
Hi, Donna.
They'll talk with you.
Donna, tell Bob we
See
said
if
hello.
there's, see if they think that it's something that can be resolved relatively quickly. And if so, they can request a continuance. Otherwise, they'll present a plea offer that has been made by the prosecutor. Okay.
Take the plea offer.
Okay.
Take it now.
No, January the 19th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Terry for the
All right,
dub
thank you.
today.
hmm
Really got. That was well played, Terry. Well played.
Well done by him. Another great crowd here for court. We're glad everybody took time out of their day to join us. If you haven't already liked the video, we need you to do that. And like Creed said, Thanksgiving Day, there will be some content coming your way. So keep an eye out for that. Could be a lot of different stuff. We tell you that with peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Tell Bob we say hello.
I'm glad to hear Bob is working. I don't want him going before a judge and have to pretend he didn't hear.
We'll see you guys at 4:05 for We Got to Chase. Thanks again. Yeah, great crowd today. Love it. It's pretty decent court today. So
not bad for a holiday week. We'll see you for the next one. Until then, we love you.
Dave's not here.
Oh, and Cooper, Golf and Guns, and Dick Harris. Thank you all.
That's right. It may be small, but it gets the job done.